All right, welcome to this video where I'm going to be going over the new AP Environmental Science exam. These are all the updates that came out as of today. They were announced last night in a video conference, so I was able to ask some questions, and hopefully this will clarify everything for you guys so you know what the AP Enviro exam is going to look like. Before we do that, I am, of course, going to give you today's joke of the day for Friday, April 3rd. What do you get if you stand between two llamas? Laminated. I don't get it. Laminated? Laminated. That's what it's supposed to be. It's not a good joke. Sorry. They never are. All right. So we're going to talk about the new test date first. So in case you didn't know, the new test date is officially going to be Monday, May 18th at 1 p.m. So this is obviously going to be done on a computer or a phone, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the official time for us in the Pacific Standard Time is going to be 1 p.m. on Monday, May 18th. Hopefully, we're back in school by then, and we'll be able to set it up where we're all doing it together on computers somewhere in the school. We'll see what happens. As far as the timing of the exam goes, the exam's going to be 45 minutes. There are going to be 2 free response questions. The first question is going to be 25 minutes, where you're going to work on it for 25 minutes total. And so you're going to basically get 20 minutes. This says 25, but it should be 20 minutes to read and respond, and then 5 of those 25 minutes to upload your response. So you'll get 20 minutes to actually do the question, and then a 5-minute period to upload your responses, be they on a computer like you're typing it, or if you're writing it out with a pen or a pencil, you'll take a picture of it and upload that document. The second question, you'll have 15 minutes, which is going to be 10 minutes to read and respond. And then, this is actually 15 minutes. So you'll have 15 minutes to read and respond, and then 5 minutes to upload the response. So maybe, this is what they put on the thing. So maybe it isn't, maybe it's a 50-minute test instead of 45. I will get clarification on that. But this is officially what they have posted on their website. 25 minutes to read and respond, 5 minutes, but maybe that's 20. I thought it was 20 when I looked. And then, so just so you know, once you respond to the first question, you can't go back after you submit it. So once you've done the first question, you'll move on to the second question, and then you'll be done. You can't go back and edit your first question. So you want to make sure that before you press submit, that you are 100% sure that you are ready to submit it. So the first question is going to be 60% of the exam weight, and it's going to be a design and investigation FRQ. We've done a couple of these in class, which is really nice. You're going to be given some authentic environmental scenario, and it will be accompanied with some other data or a model or a visualization, and they're measuring your ability to describe and explain the environmental concepts, processes, and models, analyze the visual representations of data or the data. You then analyze research studies that can test environmental principles, and this is where you're going to actually talk about, like, we should do dissolved oxygen testing, something like that. And then you'll describe the environmental problems and or potential responses. So anything that you can think of. Remember, when we talk about experiments, you're talking about creating a design that you can investigate. You're looking for data. You have to have a control, an independent and a dependent variable. This is something that we've done. We've done in class a few times, so this shouldn't be something that's super challenging or new. The second question is going to be 40% of your exam weight, and you're going to analyze an environmental problem and propose a solution. Very exciting when I saw that this was the second type. This means that there will probably not, but it might have some math, but it will probably not include very much math at all. So those of you who are really afraid of the math problems, they're probably not going to be a huge part of the exam, because these 2 first questions are actually 2 of the 3 FRQs that you were supposed to take. The third type being this exact same problem, except you're proposing a solution using calculations instead of another way. So you might have a calculation in this problem, but my guess is it's not going to be very much because they want to give you enough time, and this is obviously the shorter question. Remember in Unit 7, we did that project instead of the test where you guys proposed your own solutions and you created an experiment, which you all did really well on. So I'm super excited because this is going to be a question that's going to be very similar to that problem, to that project. So you'll describe or explain environmental concepts again, you'll analyze visual representations or data, and then you're going to propose and justify solutions. So remember, you'll say, hey, here's a solution that I'm proposing, and then you'll talk about pros and cons justifying that solution. So how will you take the exam? So you can take the exam via computer, tablet, or mobile phone. If we end up being able to do this in school, which is my hope, because then we don't have to worry about you guys not having internet or having computer access, you will probably be doing it on a computer, but you'll have the choice to do it on a phone. That'll really come down to what our counselor decides to do. There also might be a, hey, you know what, we're just going to send the kids home early and they'll do it at home. I don't see that coming, but just something to keep in mind. The computer option seems like the best way because then you have plenty of space to read the response and then you can type your response. Now, if you do the computer method and then you say, oh, but I want to write it out, you can write your answers, take a picture with your phone, send that picture to your computer, and then upload that picture using your computer. If you're using the phone, obviously there's going to be drawbacks to it because you're not going to have as much space. You're going to have a little bit more, if you're trying to type on your phone, it might not go as quickly, but it will, of course, according to College Board, be your choice. And it'll really depend on what we end up doing with our testing coordination when we get there. Now, there will luckily be an opportunity for us to practice using these methods. So we'll give you a chance, or the College Board will give you the chance to practice using a computer, using a tablet, or using a phone so you can find out which one you feel most comfortable with. You can only use one device though. So if you're using your computer, you can't submit with your phone. So if you're like, I want to use my computer to read the prompt and then I want to write it by hand and take a picture of it with my phone and then upload it with my phone, you can't do that. You can read the prompt on your computer, write the response by hand, take a picture of it, and then send that picture to your computer and then upload on your computer. But you can't use more than one device for your uploading and retrieval. Essentially, the device that you get the question with is the same device that you will respond with. So you can either type and upload or write a paper, take a picture and upload. And then if you are in need of a device, if you need a computer, if you need internet, something like that, College Board is looking at helping some students out, students of need. You can go to collegeBoard.tfaforms.net/74. You'll fill out a request there explaining your situation, and then they will contact you about getting you a device so that you can take the test or getting you somewhere where you can take the test. Hopefully, I'm going to be working with our testing coordinator to make sure that any of you that don't have a laptop or don't have the device that you want to use to take the test, we should be able to provide you that from the school or from the district. As far as the exam scores and college credit go, the vast majority of the higher education institutions have already said that they will be accepting this exam and the exams for all of these AP tests this year. There have been times in the past where hurricanes have hit, tornadoes, there have been disasters where they had to adjust the test that the students in certain areas took, and they have always accepted those scores at universities and colleges, private and public. So there is no reason to believe that schools will not accept this. So far, University of California schools have already announced that they will be accepting these just like always. Yale has come out and said they'll accept them. Texas schools, so the UT system has accepted them. UNR hasn't made a specific statement on this, but they have accepted AP scores for decades, and it would be very surprising to me if like UNR doesn't accept it, or UNLV. I would be very surprised. And maybe they've made an announcement, but I couldn't specifically find one. So you might be asking, well, what about cheating? This sounds like the easiest way to cheat on this test. So the biggest thing here is that the test is going to be open note, open book, and open Google. The questions are going to be designed so that you can't look them up. Okay, they're going to assess the skills, not just the content. So the answers, you can't just Google, question A and Google it. In order to access the exam, you'll have to take several steps and answer questions along with doing a writing. You'll write an answer to a prompt, and they'll actually use algorithms to determine if your writing in the initial part where you're checking in is the same as your writing when you actually submit. Plagiarism software, of course, will be used. For the first time ever, they're going to send teachers their responses. So I will actually receive all of your responses. I'll be able to see them. I'll be able to read them, and I could grade them if I wanted to and use them. Depending on what the school district says and with the guidance from the school and the district, I'm looking at maybe using this to replace our final exam and using your AP exam as your final. And if that's the case, that'd be really useful for you guys because you won't have to take a final. And the other part of this, the reason that they're giving this to us is I can read all of your responses and I'll know, like, wow, using a lot of different words that they've never used before. I don't think that's them. So that's one of the ways that they're going to actually have the test to find out if students are cheating. Now, if you get caught cheating or collaborating, if you go onto Reddit and start looking for answers on there with other people that are taking the exam, they will catch you. And when they catch you, they send a report to every college that you've signed up with College Board's account with, meaning any school that you set your PSAT scores to, SAT scores, those colleges will be notified that you cheated, and those colleges obviously will take that into consideration in your admission. So make sure that you don't cheat. It's not worth it. It's just you don't really get that much out of it, and at the end of the day, you probably will be caught. Now, some miscellaneous information. In late April, they're going to send out what's called the AP at Home guide, and that will be released to you guys so that you can have an idea of how you're going to take this exam with a lot of information. That is probably when they'll have the opportunities to practice using the online submission software, where we can actually use a simulation so that you can practice viewing prompts, writing answers, and then using the time management that's built in, because you can have it tell you how much time you have remaining on the computer screen. You can also have that not show so that you don't feel that stress. It's really going to be up to you on what you are more comfortable with. There's also going to be a makeup date in June, and that makeup date is going to be for extenuating circumstances, like if you have power or internet loss during the exam, or if there's a school-sponsored event and the school excuses you. So I can tell you this right now, if you don't take the exam on that date, you're probably not going to take the exam unless it's for a very, very specific reason that the College Board would have to approve. So just keep that in mind. The date we're looking at, if you remember back to the very first slide, we're looking at May 18th at 1 p.m. So with all of that being said, this is a question that some of you may be asking because the College Board is offering refunds to students that won't want to take the exam. So should you still take the exam? What I can tell you now is that technology is going to be provided for the students that need it. So you don't have to worry about if you don't have the ability to take the exam at home. We will make sure, and the College Board will make sure, that you can take the exam. We've actually been preparing for this exam since August. Believe it or not, you've put a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of effort into taking this exam, and I think it would feel like a waste if you didn't take the exam now, just because it's changed. The exam is shortened, but it's not a different exam entirely. So remember that the original exam was going to be multiple choice for 80 questions and then 3 free response questions. The multiple choice questions are gone, and one of the 3 FRQs is gone. So realistically, the exam is just a shortened version of what you were already planning on taking. We've practiced both of the types of the FRQs that are going to be on this exam, and we will continue to practice these exam types for the rest of the year until we get to that exam. Once we're finished with Unit 9, which shouldn't take very much longer, we're going to start doing all we can to prepare and review for the AP exam with a lot of review sessions and a lot of practice on these types of FRQs so that you have the skills ready to go. And the biggest thing is colleges are still accepting the AP credit, and this is going to help you save money in college, and ultimately because you will be able to skip that class when you get into college and take a higher level class. The students that are more likely to not take the exam are probably the students that are most likely to benefit from taking the exam and getting that college credit. So it's really important that you really think hard about if you want to take this exam or not, and not just think, well, it looks like this is my easy out. You've put a lot of time into this class to take this exam. So with all that, if there's any questions for me or for College Board, you can ask very easily. You can email me or contact me through Teams, and you can actually read a lot of information on College Board's website at apcoronavirusupdates.collegeboard.org/students. If you go there, you'll get all of this information I just shared with you guys, along with many more resources to help you prepare for the exam. You can also contact College Board there to ask them any specific questions that you may have that would be beneficial for you to understand. So please reach out if you have any questions, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend coming up. Or if you're watching this after the weekend, I hope you have a great week coming. Thanks.